Trump Game here. Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com off of Love Can't Wait. And today I'm going to be talking about urban women. And when I say urban women, I'm talking about women that live in the big cities like Chicago, LA, New York, Atlanta, Miami, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Houston, Boston. I'm talking about these women. You got some that born and raised there, and the majority of these places, most people migrated there or moved there like a long time ago. And what you have is a lot of foreigners and a lot of people that just had kids there, and their children are still there in a lot of these big cities. And unfortunately, a lot of these urban women are incompetent. If you compare them to the women that live in the small towns or suburban or country towns, or it's just there's a different mentality with the women that live in the urban towns versus the women that live in the small towns. Different mentality, different way of living, different mindset. Like, for example, the urban women, for the most part, most of them are incompetent, and they tend to flock towards the big cities. And a lot of these women, they're very shallow. They focus on looks because that's all they got in reality. That's all most of them really have. They can't cook, don't clean. A lot of them don't really have careers. A lot of them, they're really looking for a come up, and in a lot of these big cities, anything goes. A lot of these women don't really care about family, don't see the value of friendships. There's no loyalty. And you can't really build anything with a lot of these women. And a lot of us guys, we get into trouble because we go on looks. We if she looks good, if that's what really sucks us in. And by the time we get to know this chick, and we find out that some things, she misrepresented herself, or maybe she lied about something that maybe was a red flag. But by the time we find out all this, it's hard to turn back. It's just hard to let go. And I've been there. And this is where a lot of us, we get into trouble because we go on looks. It's not right, but that's how it usually happens in the United States of America. We go on looks. And a lot of some of the most beautiful women flock towards the big cities because they know guys. A lot of women manipulate guys because they know guys go on looks. So a lot of women in big cities try to keep themselves up, keep looking good as long as they can, And a lot of these women tend to run through guys. They got guys on speed dial now. It's not the way it used to be. Like when I was growing up, you had to work for women. You had to put in time and talk and date. But today, women are giving up sex like it's easy to get in now. You don't have to. You can smash the first night if you go to the right place in any big city in America. And now if you go to the women that live in the smaller towns, they tend to have good values, good morals, values. You can build something with a lot of these women. Now, all of these is no absolutes. I'm just telling you my experience and what happens to people that I know. Now, in the smaller towns, it's a completely different way of living. Let's take a town where I'm from, like Myrtle Beach, for example. Now, Myrtle Beach is a beach town. I mean, that's all it is, really. It's just a beach town, a tourist town or whatever. But there's a lot of beautiful women in Myrtle Beach. There's a lot of decent women in Myrtle Beach. You can meet some women in Myrtle Beach that's got, careers. Some got decent jobs, and some don't. But if you're a guy, if you're an ambitious guy, you can meet a woman and build some shit with. Have kids, have a family, all that good shit, right? But what happens in most urban environments? Most urban environments, most of the women, they want what you got. They want you to come through the door with everything, whatever that is. And you can't build anything with a lot of these women. And a lot of these women are on the internet, they're on social media, trolling. On Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter. Right? Now, most women that's in the small towns, they aren't on the internet very much. Not compared to the girl that's in the urban environments. Because the girls that's in the urban environments are trying to come up. They're still trying to catch. She might be 40, 50, 60 years old. She's still trying to catch. She's still in the club, right along with her daughter and her sons. Now, a girl that's in a smaller town, she's more than likely, the majority of them are not going to be in the club with their kids, with their sons and daughters. You know why? Because she has class. She carries herself in a different manner. She's not only representing for herself, she's representing for her family, for her last name, for her parents, for her husband, for her kids. She's representing the community, the neighborhood where she lives. Because, there's no shame in what the urban women do. They'll do anything. They'll even prostitute themselves if need be, because they it's all about them. It's all about material gain and money. That's the urban women. This is why you can't. It's very difficult to build anything with them, because they don't care about family. They don't even care about kids. If they have kids, they'll try to use the kids as leverage to get money out of guys via child support or alimony or get the house, whatever means necessary. Now, a woman that's in a smaller town, they do get money out of guys, but they don't take it as far as the urban women. The urban women don't care about what the families think, or what the grandmothers and grandfathers think on either side of the coin, you know. But in the smaller towns, it's not but so many people, so the word usually gets around fast that that certain women ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and the women in the smaller towns are ashamed at doing certain things or behaving in certain ways. So this is why they tend to carry themselves at a much higher standard of living, way of being. But in the urban environment, anything goes. I mean, if you get in a relationship with most of the urban women in these big cities, they're not really loyal. More than likely, they're gonna fuck around on you. You know what I'm saying? That's just a given, really. And then if y'all move in together, the urban women will bring a motherfucker in your house and fuck while you're gone. You know what I'm saying? And now the girl in the smaller town might do the same shit, but she's not going to bring another guy at the house. She might sneak out and get a hotel or something like that, because she's, like I said, she's a lot more classy than the girl that's in the city. The girl that's in the city is very tacky and trashy, and most of them are useless. You know what I'm saying? And the girl in the smaller town, like I said, she might sneak out and cheat, but she's not gonna bring that shit at home. And if she feel like she can't sneak around, or just don't want to sneak around, she will talk to her man and say, "Hey, hun, why don't we, do something different to spice up the relationship? So I feel like we should go out and get a woman." So see, that's what the small town girl will do. She'll go about things with class. It won't be tacky and trashy, and she won't put you in harm's way. Now the girl in the big city, the urban girl, she doesn't care. She anything goes. Most of the time they're not really thinking long term. Everything is instant. Everything is quick and fast. It's just a completely different way of thinking, different way of living, and it's very difficult to build anything with a lot of women in these urban environments. So that's why I say if I could do it all over again, I would just stay in the smaller towns. When I say smaller towns, I mean like Raleigh, Charlotte, North Carolina, Columbia, San Jose, Austin, Texas, these types of towns. Not Chicago, New York, LA. I would even stay in St. Paul, Minneapolis. That's a cool town. Seattle, that's cool. But not Houston. Dallas is cool. But I would stay away from Chicago, Miami. I mean, they're nice to visit, but I don't want to live there. Stay away from Atlanta too. They're nice to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there because it's rugged. Anything goes in these towns. Most of these people are like vultures. They're just doing whatever it takes to pay their bills and do whatever. And most of these women are like prostitutes. They like renegade home on the weekends or after work. That's like their part-time income. And this is what you have to deal with when you're in these big cities. So you just have to be aware of that, and that's why it takes time to get to know people, and you have to ask these women questions. And a lot of them aren't going to be honest. They're going to lie to you. They're not going to be honest in the beginning. That's almost impossible. So you just gotta be careful and just do your best, So that's just the some of the big differences versus talking to a girl in a big city versus talking to a girl in a small city. It's just a different way of living, different way of thinking. I mean, it's like it's a different world in some of these small towns compared to the big towns. And you just have to pick your position and play your position in the best way you can. And it's all on you. It's all based on what you want in life. What's priority? What makes sense to you? What's important to you? If you want to have a family with kids, wife, if you want to build something to pass down to your kids, I just don't think the big city is the best place for everybody. So you gotta do what's best for you, and you gotta make things easier for you. Don't make things difficult. So every place is not good for everybody. You gotta keep that in mind. So that's just all I got to say on that. So if you like what you heard, check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Subscribe to my channel. And P.S. And by the way, don't forget to like and share my video. Until next time, Sharp Gamers out. Peace.